After several notable veteran players departed the Buffalo Bills this offseason, the team has some big-time shoes to fill on both sides of the football. While the team added a number of players through free agency and through the draft, they still have homegrown talents that they'll need even more from in the upcoming 2024 season if they want to remain a legitimate top contender in the National Football League and in the AFC Conference. For the purpose of this video, we're going to be taking a look at breakout candidates that Buffalo will hope to utilize in a more prevalent role in 2024. Some of the players covered have probably done enough to gain recognition from Bills Mafia, but not enough to gain recognition from the national media. And please note, I will not be mentioning rookies in this video, so don't be upset when I don't mention guys like Cole Bishop and Keon Coleman. Welcome back to the Bills Bunker. I'm Jake Varco, and it's time to talk about breakout candidates for the upcoming 2024 season on this Buffalo Bills team. Obviously, we saw a plethora of moves. It's a lot of turnaround on this Buffalo Bills team in the 2024 offseason, and we're going to need to see some players step up and play bigger roles here going forward. That's what the purpose of this video is. Players that I see improving on their numbers from last season and really making a splash, making a name for themselves in the National Football League. Some of them you could argue that they already have, but it's going to be on a bigger level. I'm just expecting to see more from them in 2024. These are the players that I expect to break out for the Buffalo Bills in 2024, and I want to know your thoughts about these players in the comment section down below, and I want to hear your predictions for breakout candidates in the comments as well. If you haven't yet, click subscribe. Stay tuned for more content coming your way on the Bills Bunker. Here we go. Let's start on the offensive side of the football, where I have a pair of pass catchers in the mix as breakout candidates for Buffalo, starting off with Khalil Shakir. In the back half of the 2023 regular season, under new offensive coordinator Joe Brady, Shakir emerged as the leading receiver for the Bills in their final 7 regular season games down the stretch by hauling in 20 receptions for 363 yards and a touchdown in those 7 games. The 24-year-old continued to be a contributor for the Bills in the playoffs when he brought in 10 more receptions for 75 yards and a pair of touchdowns in 2 playoff games. And both of those touchdowns in the playoffs, there were some big-time plays, with his first being the final nail in the coffin against the Pittsburgh Steelers in the wild card, and his second touchdown gave Buffalo their final lead of the game against Kansas City in a heartbreaking divisional round loss. There are going to be plenty of mouths to feed on this revamped Bills offense. Josh Allen has a plethora of different weapons and new targets in the mix here. But Shakir, he's built chemistry with Josh Allen over the last 2 years in Buffalo. He's heading into his 3rd NFL campaign, and he looks to take on a bigger role, and he looks to make a significant impact on the offense in 2024. Obviously, we saw an impressive showing from Khalil Shakir down the stretch when the Buffalo Bills went on that win streak to close out the season and win the division and then go into the playoffs, eventually losing to Kansas City. Khalil Shakir, he was even ahead of Stephon Diggs in terms of receiving in the back half of the season. So this is a guy who, Josh Allen, he favors Khalil Shakir a lot. He really likes him, and Shakir, expect to see him heavily utilized in the slot for Buffalo in their offense in 2024. If you can manage to get this guy in fantasy, this might be a steal. Another pass catcher I'd like to talk about as a breakout candidate is tight end Dalton Kincaid, who set the Bills' rookie season record for receptions, which is crazy because he's a tight end. Kincaid had an impressive rookie campaign in which he finished with 73 receptions for 673 yards and a pair of touchdowns. But don't be surprised if the Bills rely on him even more in 2024, and don't be shocked if he leads the team in receptions next season. Kincaid accomplished a ton as a rookie, and he's clearly a valuable weapon that Josh Allen will be excited to utilize moving forward in 2024 and beyond. So a lot of people are really going to question me on this one. Is that really a breakout campaign? I can already hear them. Is that a breakout campaign if he has a big year next year? I think he's going to go above and beyond next year. I think Kincaid, he'll probably be the Bills' leading pass catcher in terms of receptions next season. He's going to be a main fixture on this offense. I think What we saw last year was solid. I think it's going to be next level stuff from Kincaid next year. And Kincaid, he had an impressive rookie season, but it seemed like he was a bit overshadowed by another rookie tight end last year in Sam Laporta of the Detroit Lions. So I'm expecting more from Kincaid in 2024. Watch for him to have a big year. Now let's flip it over to the other side of the ball on the defense, where the Bills secondary lost several notable veteran leaders, including Jordan Poyer, Tre'Davious White, and potentially Micah Hyde as well, depending on what he decides his future holds, while they also lost Leonard Floyd on the defensive line. Last season, Floyd led the Bills in sacks, and we really have no idea what to expect from Von Miller moving forward because he hasn't looked the same after he suffered a season-ending injury back in 2022. The Bills' D-line needs people to step up, and I debated mentioning AJ Epinesa as a breakout candidate here, but I'm going to go a step further, and I'm saying we need to, and we will, see more from Gregory Rousseau, who just received a fifth-year option in Buffalo. He's guaranteed a fifth season in Buffalo after the team exercised their fifth-year team option on him, and as a former first-round draft pick, Buffalo needs more from Rousseau in 2024. Rousseau has proven to be an excellent run stuffer coming off the edge, but Buffalo is in desperate need of sack production with Leonard Floyd joining the San Francisco 49ers this offseason, and I believe Rousseau is the perfect candidate to see an uptick in production next season. In 2023, Rousseau had just 5 sacks, which was a decline in production from his 2022 total of 8 bags. If Groot wants to land a big-time contract extension next offseason, this is his opportunity to feast on opposing teams' quarterbacks. I like Gregory Rousseau a lot as a player. He's a big body. He's got long reach. He's a tall guy coming off the edge. Great run stuffer, but I want to see more from him in terms of his sack production. Obviously, 5 sacks. When you're losing a guy with 10.5 sacks on your defensive line rotation, I don't think that's enough. Former first-round pick. It's time for him to step up, and I think that extra motivation of landing a big-time contract extension, that could come into play here. Watch for Gregory Rousseau to have a big year in 2024. Now let's move to the secondary, where Buffalo lost their longtime safety tandem of Jordan Poyer and Micah Hyde. The Bills addressed this position through free agency and through the draft by adding Mike Edwards from the Chiefs and Cole Bishop out of Utah. The Bills also extended safety Taylor Rapp to a 3-year pact this offseason, and he's a breakout candidate to highlight right here. Rapp is heading into his 6th NFL season and his 2nd year in Buffalo after signing an extension with the team. It's clear Buffalo expects him to compete for a starting role here. In 2024, we saw him start 4 games, but he played in 16 regular season games for the team, and he made one of the biggest plays of the regular season when he put a wrap on the division title by intercepting Tua's pass in a Week 18 matchup in Miami. Rapp started in all 17 regular season games for the Los Angeles Rams during their 2021 Super Bowl run, and the Bills are likely hoping he can do the same thing for them next season. After a year of playing behind veteran mentors in Micah Hyde and Jordan Poyer, it appears Taylor Rapp is set for a breakout season in 2024. Taylor Rapp is a really exciting player because he's a hard-hitting safety, and he's someone that the Bills need to step up with no Jordan Poyer and probably no Micah Hyde, but that remains to be seen. He sat behind those two for a year. I'm sure he gained a lot of great insight on the defensive scheme, and he was coached up under Sean McDermott in that defense. So I want to see what he can do next year with the Bills. I think this is a player who has a lot of potential to play a big-time role for Buffalo in 2024. Another breakout candidate in the secondary to discuss is cornerback Christian Benford, who was a 6th-round pick made by Buffalo in the 2022 NFL Draft. Benford is someone who quietly had one of the best years among all NFL defensive backs in 2023 when he took over for Tre'Davious White in Week 4 after he suffered a season-ending Achilles injury. Benford made 14 starts for the Bills in 2023, and he had 2 interceptions over that time, but the most telling stat about him is that Pro Football Focus had him ranked as the 9th best cornerback in the entire league last year. If Benford can build on his effective 2023 campaign, don't be surprised to see him become a household name around the National Football League. What he did last year in what was really his first big opportunity in the league was outstanding, and it really seems like the sky is the limit for this guy moving forward. Obviously, the secondary has lost a lot of players, but with the way that Sean McDermott and Brandon Beane, this front office, the way that they draft and develop players at the cornerback position, you've seen it with Dane Jackson and now Christian Benford, they find a way to help these guys succeed, and I'm expecting Christian Benford to continue building on his 2023 year. This next guy I'd like to talk about, though, there's a lot of questions about him because we just talked about how Brandon Beane, Sean McDermott, the front office, they excel in drafting and developing cornerbacks. Well, what about Khalil Shakir? Khalil Shakir is an honorable mention because there are so many question marks surrounding him. He's a former first-round pick who he's flashed potential at times, but he only started in 2 regular season games last year. We saw him come up big with an interception against the Steelers in the wild card round, and we knew that he was a raw talent coming out of college, but he's now entering year 3 in the NFL with just 9 total starts under his belt. Obviously, the Buffalo Bills have been coaching up Khalil Shakir and trying to get him situated in this defensive scheme, and I'm really interested to see what he does in 2024, if he can take a step forward, and if not, it really feels like this is a make-or-break year for Khalil Shakir. He's a former first-round pick. He showcased some potential, but he's rarely on the playing field. I expect him to play a bit of a bigger role here in 2024. I don't have an answer as to how much more we'll see from him moving forward. As I mentioned at the top of this video, there were several notable departures on both sides of the football. There's going to be plenty of opportunity for players who have been here to step up and take another run at it and have more production moving forward here. So I'm curious to know in the comments section down below, what do you think about my list? Is there a player that I missed? And who do you think will be the biggest breakout player for the Buffalo Bills in 2024? Let's hear it. If you like this video, click like. If you haven't yet, click subscribe and stay tuned for more content coming your way right here on the Bills Bunker. I'm Jake Varco. Go Bills.